Movable Ink often integrates with like big platforms like
Mhm.
Salesforce, Adobe, and mowing gauges of the world. But it's like not really a point solution. Maybe it was at first, but with like 150 million in revenue and unicorn valuation there, you've proven that this idea of a platform agnostic approach focused on personalization and automation can be super successful. Like you guys are kind of proof of that. How do you address this perception that only all-in-one platforms can solve marketers' biggest problems and that anything else is just kind of extra noise and distracting marketers from what's most important? I feel like Movable Ink seems to like challenge that
Yeah.
assumption entirely, right?
I mean, I think the reason that we exist is because the other solutions in your stack were really built to solve different problems. So either they were built to focus on the data side of the house, like the CRM, the data warehouse, CDPs, which people have invested like untold billions into over the past probably, let's call it a decade or so, or they're just pure play delivery. So they're like an ESP, MSP, or like a CMS system or something. And none of those were designed to automatically generate personalized content at scale, which is in fact a really critical piece in that value chain. Like if you're going to activate all that data to create one-to-one experiences, you need to have the content. And we've got tons of research that shows, I think, something like 90% of marketers think that they just don't have the content to get the sort of the investment of in their data infrastructure, and that it takes them something like close to 6 hours to create every individual piece of content. Because if you think about the large enterprise approval value chain, it's not just the designer touching this stuff. It's, got to be then the marketer and then probably a lawyer and then maybe somebody in compliance. And that's even if you're not in a regulated industry. So the ability to take pre-approved assets and combine them automatically in the end user's either inbox or on their mobile device using the guardrails that the brand has set forth is just totally transformational to these enterprise marketers who are, again, really looking to activate that data that they've invested those maybe not personally billions, but collectively billions in, and see that benefit to their end user so that they feel really seen by that brand. And that's where you get the loyalty that brands are really focused on unlocking these days.
Can you expand a little bit on the, like, legal approval part? Because that's actually a challenge for us.
Sure.
Everything has to go through legal. So you're saying, like, pre-approved, like, modules that make it so that they can just approve all of them in one at
Yeah.
all the
Yeah.
different parts of flavors of a campaign
Exactly. Like
at one
essentially
time?
creating layered images using pre-approved, totally on brand, created by that wonderful partner agency, taking those elements and then creating that one-to-one content. So it might be in the form of sort of an image lockup of new arrival items just from the website, or it could be that beautiful Spotify Wrapped, or if you want to translate that to other brands like Delta, it's your year in review, or American Express, it's, your first year with the card. And it's showcasing all those beautiful elements in a very on-brand stylized, not, merged in horrible like web safe fonts expression of that brand where it feels like it's a coffee table book of the brand that's just been created for you. And you would never know that this was automatically created and that there are millions of iterations of this now out in the wild that all tell a different story because of the way that it looks and feels.
Got it. Got it. No, I love that, and I think that that's gonna be really helpful in terms of I think that especially for enterprise companies, people underestimate how long the approvals take.
I mean,
And
our biggest challenge in the first few years was helping people understand that the opportunity to change the email after it was launched was a huge benefit, and to limit the anxiety around that and how to sell it in within their own organizations. And as B2B marketers, you're not just selling to your signatory, you're selling to everybody that they need to convince, right? So you need to create materials for their legal counsel, for their risk teams, and help them understand how the evolution of this technology is not creating more risk, but it's essentially helping meet their business needs and their goals and do so faster, more efficiently, and that there are guardrails to make sure that nothing goes wrong in the process.